Game 5 to 1987 Eastern Conference Finals. Boston Celtics vs. Detroit Pistons. Larry Bird's legendary steal. The Celtics were down 107-106 with only 17 seconds left. Detroit had the ball, and it looked like the Pistons were about to win and take a 3-2 series lead. On the inbound pass, Isaiah Thomas threw the ball toward Bill Laimbeer, but Larry Bird jumped in, stole it, and stayed inbounds. Bird instantly passed to Dennis Johnson, who made the go-ahead layup with 1 second left. Celtics won 108-107. Bird's steal is considered one of the greatest clutch plays in NBA history. It completely changed the momentum of the series. The Celtics eventually won the series in 7 games and advanced to the NBA Finals. Key players: Larry Bird, heroic steal, 36 points, 12 rebounds and 9 assists. Isaiah Thomas, 17 points and the infamous inbound turnover. Dennis Johnson, game-winning layup.
Block, you see him walking up the floor. He is yet to get in the picture.
Bird from the perimeter. Larry Bird.
McHale playing Dantley. AD's going to take it on the drive.
Bird cut off the drive, forced a bad shot from Dantley. Ainge to McHale, and he'll go to the line.
20-second timeout to try to stop this run.
The feed to Dennis Johnson down low. He doesn't get it to fall, but he's fouled. The give and go to Bird on the side, and the 6'4" Dennis Johnson got posted low.
Well, Dennis Johnson with a nice cut. You're going to see Dumars leading the double. Mahorn was slow rotating over to pick up the cutting Dennis Johnson. And when you double Bird, your rotation defensively has to be very quick because DJ is big enough and strong enough that he can score inside once he receives it.
There's a symbol of the feelings of a lot of the fans here at the Boston Garden. Boxing gloves. It's been a rough, classic Eastern Conference Finals. Dome, and this series is tied at 2. Bird inside. Left-hand layup over Dantley. Bird on the double team. There's a mix-up between Seasting and Vincent. Bird gets it all the way across to Vincent. Shot clock to 7. Great feed to Larry Bird from Sam Vincent. He's the brother of Jay Vincent. Both of them outstanding pros. McHale in the paint over Rodney. Rattles it home. Kevin McHale.
That's a set play off the backboard.
What a beauty. Johnson bounces it to Bird.
That was a set play. Bird was fronted, and they bounced the ball off the backboard. A pass. That's something you work on. That's a great play.
Dantley gives away about an inch on day. Isaiah Thomas driving pass. Bird blocks it. The shot clock sounds. And
open shot. Supposed to be Laimbeer on the baseline.
And he did get it. He missed it. Darren Day kept it alive. Behind the back to Bird, Darren Day. Oh, my, oh, my. Well, that's one of the prettier plays you'll see in the 1987 playoffs. A timeout on the floor with 3:46 remaining in quarter number 2, and Darren Day from UCLA.
Here's that last play when Larry Bird was fronted in the post. He's going to be fronted in the post. They're going to throw the ball off the backboard right down the gut to him. He's going to get it and lay it in. Let's take a look at it. Low post position, Dennis Rodman fighting him for position. DJ off the glass. Larry Bird right there for the pass, and he scores. That's a set play, and they executed it to perfection.
Laimbeer into Dantley. Past Parrish. Parrish gets him from behind.
Rodman layups off that play.
Now Bird with 15 on the shot clock. All the way to Ainge from the baseline. Big bucket. McHale gets it to Bird. It's a Boston break. They've got the numbers. Bird. And Boston leads by 9. In
5:56 when they had to call it, when Boston had to call a timeout. But Bird, under control, takes the ball to the baseline. Little feathery jump shot to put his team up 9. But so many times what happens, you come out of that locker room in the third quarter in Boston Garden, they hit you with the surge, and you have to.
That's the open Johnson. They reverse it to Ainge. Here's a three-pointer. Bird tipped it to McHale.
hand, tips it to Kevin McHale for a layup. Great play.
Boston by 9 minutes to go, third quarter. Ainge behind the back. Here comes Vinnie Johnson. Ainge finger rolls it home. Boston goes up by 11. A 9-point, a 9-2 Boston run.
Great players make great plays. The shot's going to come from the corner. Bad timing. The ball bounces. Larry Bird comes over, tips it to Kevin McHale for a layup. Let's watch it. Uncomfortable down there, even against the smaller Larry Bird.
Bird gets a three-pointer. Bird can't hit. Throw the ball in the ocean for about 4 possessions. Then he goes down and gets a big one as Dantley fouls him, and he gets a three-point opportunity.
Well, the difference was he took it into about 12 feet. And right now, Larry Bird is not making his perimeter shot, but when he gets inside about 12, 13 feet, and he's able to shoot the ball up over Adrian Dantley, I think you might see them go more into the post against him rather than have it.
Detroit so far.
This is a game where you might not see a whole lot of in the second half, maybe to give the veterans a goal. There's Bird in the post again.
With a left hand, and Doug Collins, you called it. They've posted Bird down there, and here's where Boston's going to have trouble matching up on Larry Bird.
They're going to try to force Chuck Daly's hands to get Dantley out of the ball game, and now come in probably with Rodman. So now the tables are turned. Dantley, the offensive player for Detroit, is going to be forced out of the ball game.
Mahorn picked up the fourth. They're going to sit him down and leave Dantley in, but your point is still the same, Doug. No question in my mind, Rodman will go to Bird defensively.
And Adrian Dantley will go to Darren Day.
So 2 trips, 6 points for Larry Bird.
See,
and Boston builds the lead to 6.
Bird can beat you in so many ways. When the outside shot is not falling, he can take you into the post.
Bird has 21 in the game. Dantley 23. They're the 2 top scorers. Off the double team, Day stripped it away, and now a jump ball. Jess Kersey called it. He was right by it at the baseline. It'll be jumped up at the Detroit basket.
Darren Day made a terrific double team. Look at the double team. Darren Day, and here comes Bird. Both going real strong, hands up. Day puts the ball clean, and then a jump ball as Adrian Dantley reaches back in. Don't let Boston get that. That's the kind of shot you want right there.
Lambeer had it, couldn't get it. So Lambeer.
I tell you what, Rodman showed me something. His last ball game was when he wanted to forget in here. He's hit some big buckets, and right now he is chasing Larry Bird all over the floor, really forcing him to work.
You see the 0 for 7 for Boston. The 0 for 12 goes back to 5 shots in the third quarter. Bird fades away and hits one from about 15. They do.
That's who they got to go to right there. They're really doubling well down on him.
Ainge. Look at Dennis Johnson. He kept that alive. Bird's open. McHale with a pass. And the foul. Let's check carefully to see who this foul is on.
Kevin McHale spotting Larry Bird underneath. Right here, Rodman makes a rookie mistake. When he hears the whistle, he should have grabbed him. He let him finish the shot. And when you hear that whistle, Bob, you got to grab him. You can't let him get 3.
Now Rodman with 5.
Let him get 2, but don't let him get 3.
Bird has 3'd him to death here. That was another 3-point. That's 4 3-point conversions for Larry Bird at the free throw line.
They have 2 shot blockers, Rodman and Sally.
Bird for 3. No, only 2. He was stepped on the line.
Well, Rodman took a nap that time.
Thomas blocked by Bird. Detroit has Mahorn, Lambeer, Thomas, and Rodman with 5. Sally's already fouled out. Day has fouled out for Boston, and McHale has 5. Nobody else with more than 3 for the Boston Celtics.
During the timeout, they took out Jerry Seasting, brought in Fred Roberts, a bigger player, to match Rodman. Watch Bird throwing the ball in out of bounds. He is dangerous. Keep your eye on him because he'll throw the ball in and they'll look to try to rub him off the screen.
They just did. Mahorn playing Bird now. There's Bird off the screen from the corner. Big basket by Larry Bird. That's a 2-pointer. Detroit by 3 with 1:13, and Bird has 36. And after the shooting slump, Doug Collins, Larry Bird, with the confidence born of the star he is, hits the long-distance jumper.
Let me tell you something about great shooters and great scorers. they are never in slumps. They're going to keep shooting it, and Larry Bird, he's going to come across, he's going to set a screen, and then he fades back to the corner. Mahorn with a hand in his face, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Red Auerbach, who's seen it so many times before. You know, it's been nearly 20 years since Red coached, but I think in his mind he coaches every one of the games. And for Detroit, as you look at that, it has to be said, and I think it was said best by Chuck Daly. He says, I'm not saying that we're coming in here lightly because we're very intense, but he says, I feel the pressure's off. We've had a heck of a year, and we got our 2 in Detroit, and now we just feel let's let it happen. Big possession for Detroit. Lane Beer way out high. Seasting all over Isaiah Thomas, and he's called for the foul. It'll be a shooting foul. In a way, from a Boston point of view, maybe not that bad a foul, in the sense that the free throw opportunities are made and Boston gets their hand on the ball with 1:08 to go.
Well, what that does, though, it gives Chuck Daly a chance to substitute, and he can start making defensive substitutions now. The clock stopped. He can bring Rodman in the game. He can bring Dumars in the game, so he can get his better defenders in the game and take out his offensive players.
Isaiah Thomas makes it a 2-point game. He can pull the Pistons to within 1, and here come Rodman and Dumars.
You can bet that when Boston comes down, in some way Larry Bird's going to be part of the play.
1:01, exactly a minute remaining. Boston by 1. Here's Bird against Mahorn. Ainge from the top of the key. Big bucket by Ainge. It rattled home. Lane Beer answers for Detroit. 10 on the shot clock. 9, 8, Bird down low. Misses. Mahorn rebounds and calls timeout with 27 seconds to go in this game.
He gets the ball inbounds.
He does make the pass along the sideline.
They got Isaiah Thomas out on the top of the floor against Seasting.
16 seconds. Seasting right in his face. Thomas with a very big bucket, and Boston uses their last timeout.
If Boston was able to get it, then they were able to have enough time to maybe defend. But watch the shot as it goes up. You're going to see Rodman react. Still plenty of time. 1-point lead, 17 seconds to go. Larry Bird on the floor for Boston. Don't celebrate that horn sounds.
McHale still in the ball game, and Bird. You must wonder if Dennis Johnson might handle the ball, then get it to Bird, then look to get it to McHale low. What do you call on this, Doug Collins?
Well, I think you're going to see probably Boston run some kind of screen action on the baseline. Maybe a guard pending across, popping Kevin McHale into the low post where they can look for him. Weak side action with Bird maybe coming off a screen. And I tell you, Larry Bird, unless he has a wide open shot, will drive the ball to the hoop and put the onus on the official to make the call. He will not let the game be determined by a jump shot unless he's absolutely wide open.
And Chuck Daly is talking to his Pistons. What does he say?
Well, guys, we got 17 seconds right now. We need to stop. We do not want to foul. We do not want to give up any touch fouls going to the basket for 3-point plays. If you're in a position and you're beaten, make sure the foul you give is hard enough where you don't give up a 3-point play. If we're going to give up something, let's make it be a perimeter jump shot, and let's not foul a jump shooter.
Kevin McHale with 20 points in this game. Only 2 points in the 4th quarter, though. He's been ridden with 5 fouls. Bird will inbound, 17 seconds remaining. Mahorn talking to Bird right now. He's right in front of here talking to Bird. Into Dennis Johnson.
They're going to run a flare for Bird coming off the McHale screen.
There's Bird with the ball against Mahorn.
He'll take it to the hoop. You can bet. He's going to try to draw a foul.
It's blocked. And Seasting hit it off of a Detroit player. No, it is. Here's a disparity in the call. They're going to give the ball to Detroit. Bird steals it. Johnson, layup, Boston, 1 second left. Detroit timeout. 1 second left. Bird steals it and gets it to Johnson at the buzzer. 1 second remaining.
Oh my, what a mistake by Detroit. They should have called timeout and took the ball at half court. They threw a floating pass into Lambeer. Bird steals it. Oh, what a mistake. Veteran players cannot make that kind of mistake.
Look at Walton. He thinks it's a missed shot. He thinks the game is over. Seasting had tried to throw the ball off of a Detroit body to get the Boston call. He did not get that. It was Detroit ball. And then, as Doug told you, the mistake on the inbounds play. And with Bird anywhere near you, you can't do it.
You've got to call timeout at worst and regroup. Chuck Daly was signaling for a timeout. They threw a floating pass inbounds. Oh, my. What a cardinal mistake. Now 1 second.
108-107 Boston. Game 5 Eastern Conference Championship Series.
I'm not believing that. Oh, man.
Well, the Detroit Pistons have really battled the Celtics, and they deserve a lot of credit. However, remember that Boston had McHale in foul trouble much of the second half. Then Robert Parrish re-sprained his ankle, had to leave the floor. Darren Day fouled out, and here it is again.
Well, let's watch this. First of all, it's a floating pass. Lambeer does not meet it. Bird picks it off, and then a driving shot by DJ. Man, oh man.
It'll be inbounded at half court by Adrian Dantley. Let's check the matchups. Mahorn's guarded by Roberts. Isaiah Thomas by Ainge. Bird is on Lambeer. McHale waving those long arms. Lambeer out of bounds. Boston will win this game. The buzzer sounds just as the ball goes out of bounds. There was less than a second remaining on the tick of the clock. And Detroit's valiant effort comes up a point short on a critical inbounds mistake. Boston's Larry Bird picked off the pass, got it to Dennis Johnson. He hit the clutch layup, and Boston wins at 108-107 to take a 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Championship Series.